Hey guys, a couple more problems. I'm not going to write too much down. I just want to maybe talk through it a little bit because we talked about this in class, and just kind of thinking about thinking and learning and how people learn and think, and maybe our attitudes towards that. So here's kind of the situation: you have these two kids playing video games, and one's really good at it, one's really bad at it, and they're playing together. So they have this conversation afterwards, and they're like, "Hey," and student A is like, "B, you're just really good at this. Like, you're really good at video games. I wish I could be good like you. I wish I was born with the ability to be good like you are at video games." Which is an interesting statement to make. So I'm going to, in a way, to kind of explaining whether or not you should think that people are really just born good at stuff like that or not. I'm going to share with you guys a story about myself, okay, which I don't do a lot, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself right now. So I do have two younger brothers, and that's where this problem kind of came from. And my youngest brother and I play video games a lot on Xbox Live. He's actually in the military and he's stationed elsewhere, so this is kind of the way we kind of spend time together. So the game we play a lot is a game called Battlefield 3, which isn't important if you don't know. It's just just sets the stage, and it's a game like Call of Duty, and we play a ton, like we play a lot, and we're really good. Okay, we're really really good at this game. Both my brother and I. He's better than I am, but we're both better than most people we play. In fact, every time we play, we hardly ever lose. Like he and I in the same team is almost unfair to most people, and we get a lot of people messaging us over the messaging system built in. They're like, "You guys, blah, 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 blah." But every once in a while, we get someone who asks us, like, "Well, how are you guys so good at this game?" And it's usually like you just have. And again, it's just like, "Hey, you guys are just so good, and like you're just so naturally good." And my friends who play video games with as well are just like, "You're just so good at this because of whatever reason." But here's something to think about: could there be a reason that my brother and I are better than most people at this video game? And there is actually a reason. I'm going to show you that reason. And here's something most people don't know when they start thinking, well, you're just really good at something. There's a tracking system built into Battlefield, and that tracking system tells you how like you're doing as a player. So this is me right here. This is my game card. And if you look at this game card, and again, it kind of confirms that I'm better than average. But the thing you should take a look at is time played. And I can't point right now. Well, actually, maybe I can. I can point with this. If you look right here where it says time played, that's how many hours I put into playing this game. 1,076 hours, almost 1,077 hours, just playing this game over the course of about 3 years. If you look at my brother, he's put in 773 hours into this game. So consider that for a minute. I put over 1,000 hours. My brother's put in 773 hours. So together we put in almost 1,800 hours in playing this game. So when you think about like, yeah, we're really good at this. Think about the amount of time that we put in to get good at this because we like the game so much. If A student and B student in the original problem, there she is. Whoa, there it is. So A student and B student in the original problem were to talk, and then A and B asked A, well, how much do you actually play this game? And A said, well, I play it like maybe once or twice a week for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes at a time. Or even if he said, hey, look, I play it every day for about an hour. And then B student's like, well, I play it every day for like 5 hours. And then I play for like 5 or 6 hours on the weekends each day. Um, B's obviously going to be better just because the amount of time that he put into it. He's more dedicated to it. And so if you think kind of like in terms of math or you think in terms of anything you do in school, the more you do something, the better you get at it. So if you think in terms directly in math, um, learning kind of follows the same pattern. So people aren't born naturally good at math. It's really the amount of time and effort they put into it, whether they like it or not. So if you think about like your own studying processes, if you watch all these videos, you have now been studying for over an hour, well over an hour, because just how long these videos have been to put together. If you did your review beforehand, like you've probably now been studying and working on stuff for the test for almost 2 hours. If you are paying attention really carefully in class over the course of the week, what will that be? Let's see, 3, 6, 7.5 hours. So you're putting like 12 hours, and if you do homework, let's say another hour, 13 hours of work in per week. you're going to get better. Like it's impossible not to get better. In the same way, after 1,000 hours of playing that video game, it'd be pretty impossible for me not to get better at that video game than I was when I started. So I know there's been some frustrations lately in class. The material's getting harder. We're aware of that. You got that quiz back that didn't go really well. I know that too. But you have to understand this is all a process. It isn't a quick fix, and that's something that's hard to understand and to learn within our lives. We all go through it. Mr. Bostic and I both went through this when we had to realize that things like math are a process. They aren't at all a quick fix or something you can accomplish over the course of a day. Especially if you think about history. If you've historically um, had trouble in mathematics, then the problem's not going to be fixed within the course of a month or 2 months in class. This might be like a year-long process, and you might not see really big gains until much later on. Just something to consider, guys. I'm not going to belabor the point anymore, but I think you guys have a good sense that the more time you put into things, the better you get at it. So when you kind of think about this last problem too, the correct answer you should be looking for is C. Okay? You learn things by gaining new pathways. Like think about that video game, like B. And if you ever played this video game, you know I'm telling you the truth. That like, you can literally like know where people are simply by sounds. You can't on the first day, but you can on the 1,000th hour. Like I know instinctively where people are going to be coming from when I play this video game. Like I know what they're going to try to do. I know exactly what to do to stop them, and that comes from experience. That comes from forcing my neurons to transmit information from my dendrites to my axons in new ways that I haven't experienced before, just so I know to look for those things in the future. It happens over the course of time, and it happens after many trial and errors. But that's just the way it is, guys. So that's kind of how thinking and learning works. We've said it before, but hopefully you think about things maybe in new context after the first month of school. That's what I got. Thank you so much, and I will post these now so you guys have access to them all weekend. Thanks.